Welcome to UUFP, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Pottstown. We are a liberal faith community here in Pottstown and have been here for a very long time. My name is Diane Awenydd-Evans. I am a member here, as well as a witch high priestess of Weavers of Moonfire, a coven based here in Pottstown. And it's really lovely to see you all this morning. So we're going to start with some announcements, but first I want to greet everybody. Anyone who is watching from home, anyone who is here, we are grateful for your presence and your time. You have lots of options to spend your Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, whenever you watch this. So we're really glad that you're here with us today, or whenever you watch us. So if anyone has any announcements, please come up to the microphone, give your name and tell us what you have to tell us. And we'll get started.
Hi, I'm Kay, and I'm just making an announcement about the rally in Pottstown on October 18th. And we're excited about it if we want it to be really, really big. And that means a lot of people going. I know sometimes people think, oh, you don't need to just go there. And I mean, you don't need to go and yell and shake a sign. We do that, right? Right, Lori? Right, Irene? Right, Valerie? Okay. Anyway, you're just your body being there and being with other people that are not happy with what's going on and trying to do something that is in our power to show that we disagree with it. So yesterday, Irene sent out a lovely email to, I think, everybody. If you didn't get it, let me know and I can send you a link, which has a link that you can sign up for the protest. It's October 18th. The one that our fellowship has been going to has been in Pottstown, up where Applebee's is, 779 State Street, I think it is. Plenty of parking. We position ourselves on the corner of State and I don't know, right where you go in to enter the parking lot. So we position ourselves right on that corner. We're loud. You don't need to be loud. You can bring a chair, but we want people to participate and feel like they're helping out with this effort. Thank you.
My name's Chad. Morning. We had our first author event thing last Thursday. It was really nice because part of it was my book, and I really appreciate the support. It was really, really great. We had a visiting author, Israel Elias Cologne, who works with a nonprofit called Project Bluebird, where they work on publishing students' poetry. So he was sharing some of his own poetry, but also this book that he has. 59, I want to say 59 eighth grade students, but he focuses on going into schools and working with at-risk youth and trying to like give them a community through writing. So it was really cool. We're actually trying to talk to them about doing a Sunday talk because it was a little bit about his spirituality, his faith, and how it connected with his poetry. It was a good talk. So we're going to do another one in January. We have an opportunity to host these 3 or 4 times a year at Fellowship, and it's a nice donation to the Fellowship, but it's a good way to kind of put UUFP further on the map for the Pottstown region. I am just looking for other authors or local artists to promote. So if you know anybody who's working on any writing projects or anything like that, just reach out to me. We would love to get them scheduled. We're trying to kind of do them seasonally, but the next one we're shooting for is January. So just keep it in mind if you come across anything. Thanks. One last thing before I forget. I just wanted to say thanks to Irene, who I guess isn't here. Irene helps set the whole thing up. She's like the hostess with the mostess, with all her energy backing a project like that. I just wanted to say thanks. She did a really good job.
Good morning, I'm Sam. I'm the Facilities and Grounds Co-Chair. You may have noticed if you came in through the front that we have a new walkway. And the decking was repaired. There was some rock underneath it, under the carpet. Eric did that. He donated all the supplies, his time, did the work. So you should thank Eric for doing that. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, my name is Holly, and I will be offering a all levels yoga class here beginning October 7th. 6:30 p.m. It is a Tuesday. Bring your own mat, bring water, blanket. It will be a class that is focusing on letting go of the emotions we hold in our body. Hope to see you all there. Thank you.
My niece is recently, she's recently just, so I'm gonna try to do the readings myself today. But don't be surprised if I'm like, you know. Our opening words are number 434 in the gray hymnal, is that? When may we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the ultra humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe and to this community and to each other. It is time to light the chalice if I have a volunteer. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the heart, quiet place, secret places. Blessed is the heart with strength to stop beating for honor's sake. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Our opening hymn, which everybody is very familiar with, 123, Spirit of Life. Be brave, be out now. Probably just exactly on story, it's so much as a chat. So if any of the slightly shorter people want to go forward, I have things to show you and things to talk to you about, and things to give you. I'll take it down here, put it. I've got friends with me. To share. You guys can get growth if you want. I'll find you. We're going to talk about friends and community today. Okay. Who here has an animal friend? Yeah. What kind of animal friend is yours? Cat, what's her name? Lebanon, love it. Wonderful name, love that name. Who here, what's your animal friend's name? That dot, nice. Very nice. Squirrel named Jimmy, that's a great friend. I like friends that, you know, don't necessarily live in the house with us, like, I mean, I have three kids. So, I have friends who live in my house, but I also have friends outside. Who has ever made friends with a tree? Yeah. Yeah. Sauce. I grew up in a house that had a giant willow tree right next to it. So when I was your guys' age, he was one of my best friends. He was fun to climb in. My brothers were always trying to build a tree house, and it never happened. But my younger brother did keep stepping on nails. It was tragic. But so we have friends that are people, like human people, right? We have animal friends, we have tree friends. I have some of my friends here, and some of them are my oldest friends. And because I can't see really well right now, I'm having a hard time finding. That's not it. Come on, where are you? Here you are. Nope, that's not it. There's a stripy pink one in here that I dug out of the dirt when I was like 5 years old. And that's been with me for, I'm gonna be 60 on Tuesday. So, that stone has been with me for 55 years. Come on, why are you not showing up? You guys know I'm a little blind. Okay, maybe one of you can help me find my striped pink one? No, it's not polished, it's, yeah, here we go, okay. So these are my oldest friends, right? What does this look like to you guys? Wow, it looks like a frog or a toad, right? And it's made out of wood. You want to pass him around? You can touch him. He's not breakable. He's been with me since I was about your age too. So these really old friends of mine, two of which I dug out of the dirt, and one of which I bought at a stone shop when I was about 7. Because I really like rocks. And then the toad friend, they've been with me for most of my life, right? These friends are new friends, they're newer, and they're ready to find new friends and go traveling. So, when we're done this, you guys are gonna each get to choose one of my friends to make your friend be with you. Okay? What do you think these friends do for me? Why do you think that I would carry them around for 55 years of my life? Nice?
They just
Yes, they comfort me. Sometimes they remind me of important things, like when I'm really scared, you can remind me that I'm brave. Even when I don't feel brave. When I'm sad, they can make me feel better. When I'm angry, they can make me remember to be kind, even when I'm not feeling fine. So friends can help us in lots of ways, even non-human friends, right? And today's message, the thing we're gonna talk about when you guys go, is about making friends who aren't humans and seeing the world as filled with friends, filled with spirits. Now, spirits can be a scary sounding word, it's not. It's just that part of you that makes you special, makes you you. And the part of the cat that makes him special, makes him him. And stones have spirits and tools have spirits. Do you think that maybe one of a farmer's best friends is probably his tractor? Because it helps him get his job done and. So even a tractor might have a spirit, might be a kind of non-human person, right? So we're going to talk about that idea today in service, and I wanted to just give you guys an opportunity to make a new friend and take them with you. So I pulled out the ones that I'm not ready to part with yet. I'm not ready to share because they're so old and so precious to me. Not they're like, they're the two that I dug out of the dirt, theirs aren't shiny at all, although one of these days, maybe I'll get them polished. But they're just the way I got them out of the dirt with my own fingers, which were very small then. Fingers. Anyway, so I want you to like pull that closer to you and everybody. Take whatever you like. That you can carry with you, you can take it to school with you, you can put it on your bedside, you can keep it in your pocket. And make friends with it. Awesome. Find one that really like. Yeah, it's course, that's right. You're very clever. Yeah, that's rosewood. If anybody has questions about what kind of stone they are, you are welcome to come and see them. That one is, honey, I'm sorry, that's not that well, that's a synthetic sapphire. It's so it's kind of plastic. Came out of a ring that my grandmother used to wear. I think it's very pretty, and that can be from too, if you want it, it's yours. All right. That I believe, let me see it, just I gotta look at it, yep, that's amber. That's a like old tree sap. That is like a dime, it's I think this is called a. That is, that one is an Apache's tear, which has a mist that goes with it, and I'm gonna look it up on the internet. And that is tourmaline. That's really good for keeping bad stuff away. I don't know. Sometimes you just have friends and you don't know their name. But that is that.
That's for the trees to make a one. Make a little rock down.
Nice. I believe you. You know as well as I do. All right, I think it's almost time to go back to class or to go out to class. So anybody who still needs to grab one. And then we're gonna put the rest of my friends back in their bag so I can share with somebody else next time. Keep one, though. Make sure you keep one if you want, okay? Thank you for indulging me. Yes, you can. That was such a gotcha. Moving on, good today. Yeah.
Did you see where you said take one? How they?
Everybody needs friends, right? All of us. And for the moment, we're gonna put that poll on hold. And we're going to talk, we're gonna take the offering. And I have a number here. I don't have a number here. We're gonna take the offering. I thought I had offering words. I failed. Don't forgive me. But we are grateful for all the gifts that are able to be shared with our community. We are grateful because it helps us to take care of this building, which is our friend. It helps us to keep the lights on and the heat on. And the doors open, which is really important in our community because this place is a sanctuary. This place is a place of community and friendship and support and comfort. And without our financial and tangible gifts of that sort, it wouldn't be open. Also, without the gifts of the people who do the taking care of, Sam and Eric and Cliff and Eric feed us all the time. And Eric put in that beautiful new wall landing out front. Sam takes care of so many things. But these are all gifts, these are all community, these are all friends. So I'm going to ask you all to listen to the chime and take some time in silent meditation to get your hearts and spirits ready to be open and consider some new ideas, or old ones as the case may be. And then when we're ready, we're gonna sing a hymn of meditation, which you are all very well familiar with, because we do it every time I'm up here. So, where's the chime? There's the chime. Okay. Take a deep breath and let it out, and then I'm gonna ask you to join me in number 1009 in the Teal Hymnal, meditation on breathing. I think most of you know it at this point, and some of you even know the 3 different parts. Do whatever makes your heart happy. You will sound beautiful. But please sing out. 4 times, did you say? Let's do it 4 times. Bad on occasion. It's not the end of the world. The windows won't crack. I promise. Okay. So now we're going to talk about something called animism. And it's a very old thing, and you probably all heard about it in your comparative religions classes or maybe philosophy class in college. We don't really talk about it before that, because it's out there. I'm a little out there. I'm okay with that. But I want you to think. I'd like you to think for a second to when you were their age, and maybe you believed that a spirit was like a tree was a person, not a human person, but a person, like it had a spirit, right? It could be your friend. Same thing with the animals, or rocks, or buildings, or tools, or trees, or insects. And at some point somebody told you that's not real, stop being silly, that's not rational, that's not provable. And you stopped believing because it was uncool, or because you wanted people to think that you were smart and logical and a good little girl or boy, right? That you wanted to play along with the party line, and so you stopped thinking that way. Everybody, it happens. It's very normal, especially in this society. So while I begin the actual talk, to tell you what I believe, I want you to consider that maybe they were wrong. And maybe it's okay to believe and to act as though the trees and the rocks and the bees and the cats and the dogs and tractors and cars and knives and tools of all kinds of sorts have a spirit, and that they are your friends and they are part of your community. So we're going to revisit that idea. First, we're going to start with, I'm a witch. I believe, I'm a polytheist, so I have a belief in many gods. I don't discriminate. I think Allah and Jesus and Jehovah are also gods of equal standing to the others that from various cultures that I work with or that I've heard of or that I know. And we can have a discussion on polytheism someday. That's not what today is about. But I had to put that up front because, disclosure. I also work with my ancestors. I believe my beloved dead have spirits that I can commune with and that help me. But again, those aren't visible, and that's not really what today is about. I believe in lots of kinds of spirits from different worlds, from the upper world, from the lower world, from the other world, the worlds we don't see. And I'm happy to discuss any of that at any time with anyone because I love, that's my special interest as an autistic person. However, the physical world that we live in, the natural world that we inhabit on a daily basis, that we move through, that we touch and taste and see and hear, physical, tangible world, it's really easy to see that as just physical, right? It's just a rock, it's just a chair, it's just a building, it's just a. And to treat them like they don't matter and to miss out on the support and comfort and teaching and joy that the spirits of those things might be able to give us. And right now we're living in a really, really tough time in the physical world that we live. Although I would actually hazard to say, my perspective, politics is not nearly as real as the world in which I live. I can touch my car. I can't touch politics. And I don't really want to right now. I want to take a bath afterwards. And while I believe in being a good citizen and participating as much as I can in order to make things better, because that is important to me. The real world that I live in, that I walk through, is made up of physical things, physical objects, physical creatures, physical trees, stones, bees, cats, chairs, cars, tractors. So I'm just going to offer up a couple of thoughts. So Eric and Cliff are chefs. They are a friend to our kitchen. I think of our kitchen as having its own spirit because it supports us in this building, in this community. And Chef Cliff and Chef Eric are definitely friends to our kitchen. And I would suggest that possibly our kitchen is friends to them. It is a friend to them. That the chef's knives that chef uses as a tool of his profession are his friends, and that he in turn is their friend. That the bees on this property that Chad takes such loving care of, that maybe Chad is a friend to bees, and perhaps the bees are friends to Chad, whether he thinks of it that way or not. I heard an interesting tradition the other day. I was listening to a story, and it was called Talking to the Bees. And it was this tradition of when somebody dies in the community, or was born, or falls in love, or gets married, or suffers a tragic accident, whatever it is, big events, it's good to go and tell the bees. And just tell them, share the information with them. They can help you in your grieving, they can help you in your celebration. Telling the bees is, in my mind, a lovely way of interacting with the spirits in this world. I think of the garden as having a spirit. Not to mention each and every plant, but the garden as a whole. So I think of Kay as a friend of the garden, and I would suggest that the garden is a friend of Kay. And everybody else who helps her work on it. This building, to me, is a friend. It's a big spirit. It's bigger than the little stones that I was sharing with the kids. It's larger in its entirety than the kitchen. This room has a specific spirit and doesn't have a name in my head. It doesn't have, but it has a purpose, a role, and I believe it takes joy and grows positively from that role, from that purpose. Even JD Stillwater, who is a beloved speaker here, he's a naturalist. I don't know that he's a mystic at all, and that's okay. But I'm pretty sure that he finds spirituality in the natural world. Because maybe there is spirit in the natural world, not just the natural world, man-made world too. Just because a person's hands built a thing, a tractor or a car or a stove, whatever it is, doesn't mean it doesn't have spirit. He's still made from natural materials, because without the natural materials of Earth, we don't have anything physical. So I want you to think about, what are your friends? Who are your friends? And allow yourself to possibly ascribe in your mind spirit to that friend. You hear people talk about their cars like they're people, right? She's being a real pain today. She's really letting me down. Well, if you take care of her like she was a person, she might not let you down so much. It's okay to think in terms of, it's okay to think bigger. It's okay to think, and you don't have to share those thoughts with people if you don't want, it's none of their business. You know, I'm not talking about putting yourself out there to be ridiculed, because the world will ridicule you for it. I don't really care. I've come to a place where I take joy in my beliefs and my thoughts. So, but it's okay to consider the possibility that you were smarter when you were 5 than the people who were telling you that's silly, that's wrong, don't think that. Just a thought. And now I would like to hear some of your thoughts or stories, whatever you would care to share about the idea. I never gave you the definition. Animism is the belief that everything in the world has a soul and possibly agency of its own, a free will, including mountains and rivers and trees and forests. Some of them are really big and some of them are small, but they all have soul. Anyway, so now you have the definition. So yeah, there it is. I'm gonna take this around and ask you if anybody wants to share. If you want to be quiet and just think, that's okay. But I'd really like to hear your stories if you have any. Is that a story or an idea or a thought or an argument? You know, we have arguments too. We discuss things, we disagree all the time. Jill?
I have a prayer plant at home, and it brings me a lot of pleasure to see it unfolded in the sunlight or bright light. And then at night when dusk comes, it holds, the leaves fold up. And I get a lot of pleasure from seeing it, and I actually, am concerned about it for its welfare, because the leaves right now aren't doing too well. So I talk to it and I say to it, I'm going to have to transplant you soon. Your roots have to spread out more so you can do better. But I kind of have a sort of relationship with it. If it might sound silly, but I think a lot of people who have plants kind of feel that way towards their plants and love their plants and get that kind of pleasure from them.
And silly isn't a crime. Anybody else?
I'm Jess. I have a really special relationship with Mount Nittany. I moved up to Central PA, I don't know, some time ago, whatever, lived many lives. And really had a really like tough relationship with the G word. I couldn't even say it at that time. And I hadn't found UU yet. And for some reason, just I knew it was the spirit of that mountain, and I was able to use that, the grandness of that mountain. It was obviously bigger than me. I put myself in. I was going through a really hard time of my own doing, and it was so nice to have something bigger than myself. And sometimes I explain that to people and they totally get it, and sometimes they don't. So thank you for giving me permission to be here. I appreciate it.
You'll leave us, sister. Anyone else? Remember, I don't see well from across the room, so if you're there, wave at me. I see movement better than I do stillness. Thank you, Judy.
I'm Judy. I guess through my life, and I haven't ever put it in words, Diane did such a great job. You know, different spirits. Afterworld, you know, my father came back to me and things, but I witnessed something this summer that was just awesome. A spirit in the air, maybe of friendship. This summer I had a boy from Hungary come visit me. And Chad and his wife, Justine, invited us over to participate in the Leaf Academy. And he and Henry, they met and they were off and running. It was like a spirit of friendship with him, with the family. You could just see it. And I've never seen something so quick before. Sometimes I've met people in my life, they just know they're right for friendship, but that was a wondrous thing for me. That's the spirit of friendship, and it's continuing to go on.
Hi, did you? I will mention, this is our friend, this piano. This is definitely our friend. Who else?
I had a ton of them going through my mind when you were talking. First of all, you mentioned your plant, my prized possession, and I have brought cuttings in here. Is a plant, it's peony, it blooms for Memorial Day, spectacular. It is been split, I don't know how many times. They say, don't split it, well, that thing would have taken up a Pottstown by now. But it is, it was growing on my grandparents' farm in Nebraska when my grandmother was born, or my great grandparents' farm, when my grandmother was born in 1894. So that plant is 130 plus years old. And it's just amazing, and it's been some things it shouldn't have. But I think about the whole family and going back, back. And then the other one is just completely ridiculous, but mom worked for Sears for the Youngs. Now, yeah, it's a long time, and she got to sign the beam at the top of the tower, and they put it up the roof, they had it down on the street, and you can sign it. And she actually moved in before they were done up top. But we all worked in there for several years, and I actually did security, if you want to feel secure. But I was out on the sky deck a lot, and what you see up there and how spectacularly gorgeous it is. And I always talk about Chicago because it's home and it has so many memories. And you see the Chicago TV shows, and there's the tower popping up. And it brings me back. And just to see that picture and that beautiful city and all those memories that I have from growing up. So that whole physical relationship with that area. And my sister and I were talking the other day about there's a special vibe in that town. And it's got quirks and crazy things that happen. One of them we can talk about later that is ridiculous. It truly was, but anyway. But it's just that whole, yes, just thinking about it, and I'm getting to go back next week.
Yay.
Yeah.
By the way, you look beautiful.
Hi there. I've had a pickup truck for about 3 years and just recently I named it. I gave it the name of Jake, both a friend of mine that always drove a pickup truck and also after my new favorite actor, Jake Weary. Also, when I get up in the morning and hop into the pickup truck, I say hello to it and I talk to it like it's a person.
Jake is around for a very long
I
time.
think so.
Hello, I'm Terry. So I have this wonderful bed. I have this huge king size bed and it's filled with pillows and a down comforter and it's just extremely comfortable. It's held me and my husband and myself. It's held my children. And so it holds me when I'm having a bad day or sad about the world. And if my children or husband are gone, I know that my pillows on my bed have touched them, so I line the pillows up on either side of my body. I feel that the pillows have essence of my children and my husband. And so I guess I've always felt about it that way, but you were able to clarify the importance and the comfort of it. So thank you.
I'm glad you did the analogy for the kitchen. Every kitchen does have a soul, absolutely. And we're breaking bread, we're making things for human beings and animals, and I like to cook dog food too. Also homes. When I moved here 2 years ago, I was flying back and forth looking for a house, and I went through probably almost 24 homes physically and through the internet. And then when I took one step into the house I live in now, I knew that was home. It had spirit, absolutely. And many families, it's not that old, it's 60 years old, but it had something of a family spirit. And I felt it immediately. I put a down payment on it like the next day, and here we are. Now I made it up, I changed it a little bit by putting little artsy things up and making it mine. But it still had its own spirit. Now it's growing this spirit with me in it. And when I sell it or go away to my next realm, it will continue to grow. And I love that. And this church is very much like that too.
I just wanted to piggyback on what you were just saying, but I think I do connect to this a lot. I love the transcendentalist writers and they touch on this a lot. But I can tell you about specific trees in north central PA along the Genesee Fork River. They're my guys. Like I can't wait to see them when I get up there. We have a family cabin up there that we got when my brothers were little, and it's like we're still little there. You know what I mean? Like it's eternal. It's and now that my kids are growing up, it's awesome. We live in an old stone farmhouse from 1800, and that thing is its own essence. Yeah, it's just its own. It's a struggle to keep up with it, but at the same time, it knows I'm doing the best I can, and it's so sweet to my family. It's like I can feel it. But in our yard, when our kids were born, we planted a lot of trees. We planted trees when our kids were born, and they know that those are their trees, like sycamores. And then when my brother had kids, I planted for them, and they're sycamores. They grew super fast, so they're people are like, "Oh my God, that's their tree!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, Henry's gonna be 12. It's huge. It's a giant tree." So I love that they're connected in that way to the property, to the house. But I also feel like that about this building. Like I just look around. I was looking at the cookbook this morning that's over on the table by the office over there, and it has like a sketch of the building. And I'm like, wow, that's so like that's it. And it's we're creeping up on 60 years here, but I'm just like looking at this stage and it's like, how many people have talked about how many ideas up here in this. Sometimes this room feels really big, sometimes this room feels really small, but it's like it is, I guess the kids would say it's its own vibe. But there just is something about it. I just feel like every person who's been here is still, you know, or all the people who are yet to come. It's just, I definitely feel like that from the first time we walked in here, so. I love that you guys are here, and thank you for coming.
I didn't speak up a whole lot, my wife usually. But, I'm not a chef, but I've been sitting here reflecting about a butter knife. So, when I was 12, I started making a lot of my own food, and I noticed that there was, in my house growing up, there was a butter knife that was different than the others. It had a more ornate design. It was like leftover from another set of silverware that we no longer had. And I don't know, I connected with this knife. It was always the knife that I tried to use. And when I went away to college, I took the knife with me. And I took it to Las Vegas when we moved to Las Vegas, and it is currently in our house now. And just the other day, my youngest daughter, she was eating at the table, and she had the knife, and she was like, "This is the best knife. This knife is special." And I was so moved by it. I was like, "It is so special." So this is something that I don't think I've ever thought about, but I do really connect with. So I thought I should speak. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. That just triggered another thing. I'm sorry, I always ramble, but I guess I have to when I read on here. But we were, you know, our dog sleeps in a bed next to my bed. And there's this blanket that's just a big white-tailed deer on it. And the one night I just had this like epiphany. I had this flashback to being like 6 or 7 years old, pulling up to our cabin. It's always freezing cold inside because we shut it down when we're not there. And I remember standing on the back of the truck and my dad just bundling me up in this blanket and carrying me in and sitting me on the couch while he got the heater going and got the cabin turned up. And then I'm sitting there thinking like, I hate that freaking blanket though, because when I moved away to college, I can't fully stretch out. It only comes to like here. It's not like an adult sized blanket. But it was my comforter when I lived away. I took it camping all over the country. And then in my house, and now, you know, my dog's sleeping on it. But I'm like, oh my God, this blanket's been everywhere. Like, it's possibly my most treasured belonging. And I didn't realize it until 40 years old, you know, but very butter knife-esque.
I love the butter. I have a spoon like that. It's different from everything else in there, and it's my favorite. John?
Waving through.
Yes, waving is helpful, because then I can see you.
So it's funny how people sharing reminds me of a lot of animation, if you will, or animism. My father passed away in 2000 or 1997, and so several trees have to me born his spirit. One was in a weeping maple, I think it was, that passed on before its time. In the house that we had lived in until about 5 years ago, there was a conifer in the back that we took from our house previously, and someone said it's not going to survive, and it did. But that's now someplace else, and this reminds me that there's a tree behind where we're living right now that's on our property. And I think I should probably transfer the spirit, if you will, to that and give the tree a hug, basically. With my wife being in a nursing home, it's kind of hard to define, but there's a spirit in the house without the person. Because if I look around the house, I see many manifestations of her handiwork and artistry. Hospital bed not being used anymore, wheelchair not being used anymore in the house. So that is a sad spirit, but it is part of it. When I clip the roses in front of the house, I talk to them. You're doing quite well, thank you. Must talk well. But I also apologize to them because when I start snipping off the dead roses, I feel, you know, like there's some pain in there someplace. And if I by mistake cut, because there's an art to cutting rose bushes, if you have them, you sort of need to cut where the junction points are, lift a little red dot that's going to be the next rose that's going to bloom. But occasionally I'll cut off a bloom that hasn't had a chance to erupt yet. And I feel a sense of sadness, like I've killed something that I really shouldn't have done. And I'll apologize for having done that. I also just realized my wife, I'm driving, the Volvo that she had purchased years ago. So I sold my old VW Jetta to a Presbyterian minister, actually. And is gonna find a good home with him because, he had to get a loan or actually a grant from his church to buy the car in the first place. So it was kind of a sad parting, because I had the car for 10 years. And I'm not sure I named the car. I definitely had a sense of a passage to a different entity. So sorry to be thinking of this, but many things. I even look at the silverware that I inherited from my mother, that some of which may have come from her mother. I don't really think of it in animism, but it does bring back that memory, the connection that goes back to maybe her parents who brought silverware from where they came from in Estonia.
Thank you, John. Anybody else weigh that? Because otherwise we're gonna. Okay. My car is named Pearl, by the way. And I'll turn this off this first time. Again. And I'm not sure how it goes. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I don't know, the little green light's still on, so we're just gonna set them. I'm not technological savvy. Technology is my friend. I have to do chanting. I'm not a technophile, but I'm not a complete troglodyte. I'm not a technophobe. We don't relate quite well all the time. So thank you for sharing your stories, because when you share your stories and your thoughts, your friends here get to know you better. And ultimately, isn't that what we want in community, to know each other better, to know about your butter knife and your truck and all of the things, plants, animals, friends, buildings that are our friends. So my point today, most of all, our community is a lot larger than we see it. We are not alone, and I don't mean that we've got each other. I mean, we have a lot of spirits supporting us and rooting for us and rooting for a better world. So try to see your spirits. Try to see the spirit, or at least acknowledge them, see them as far as know that, hey, this is my friend, and this is going to support me and when you feel lonely, you don't have to, because you have other spirits around you. As far as this building, next month we will be doing a blessing ritual to bless the building again, like last year. But this year it's going to be better because I know what you guys need now. Which is one of the reasons we've been doing meditation on breathing every time I'm up here, because that is the thing that you're going to be doing to raise the energy to bless the building with next month. So I've been preparing you, and ulterior motive, of course. So we will be blessing this building at the end of October, last Sunday in October, in our Sunday service. And I hope you will come, and I hope you will come with stories about how this building and this land support you in your life, what you're grateful for regarding them. So that is that. We are going to sing now our closing hymn before we do Joys and Concerns. Number 1010, We Give Thanks, in the Teal hymn. Number 1010, which is like the very next page from Meditation on Breathing. those are intangible spirits that are very real in this community and that we get to carry forward. So if, we're gonna do joys and concerns.
Yes.
I couldn't come up with your name for a second and a half, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can't read, honey. I can't see it. Just, if we would recite our extinguishing words as Sheila extinguishes the flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of wisdom, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These will be in our hearts and in our hands until we are together again. So motively, blessed be. Let's get coffee.